Hi there, Cosmic Family. My name is Jaliel, and we have the moon transiting Virgo. Tomorrow, it is going to create a conjunction with the South Node and an opposition with the North Node in Pisces. This, at the same time, activates the tension that Mercury in Gemini is already creating with the karma nodes, the lunar nodes. So, yesterday, I was telling that this is implied in decisions that involve taking the direction that we know that belongs to the growth. It is at the same time the transcendence of a repetitive pattern in the experience. And obviously, this is going to be very influenced by how our mind is operating. Mercury is the regent of both signs, Gemini and Virgo. So the mind could open opportunities, create connection with oneself and with others. We could understand the association of what is manifesting in the environment and reality with ourselves. That is the higher energy of Gemini. The mind also could create order, discernment to focus in ways of taking to practice what we want to see in the world of forms of the matter, which is Virgo. But the mind also could be chaos, chaos of thoughts without direction, the low energy of Gemini. Could also go through from discernment to create separation, to make us feel isolated and separated from everything. It could be excessive criticism, and also looking through the filter of scarcity. That is the low energy of Virgo. Scarcity is a way, is a shadow of the sign, like conforming ourselves, setting ourselves with very little. Even if we are staying in spaces that are limited or that they are not bringing plenitude, inner plenitude, spaces, relationships that are bringing minimal benefits, for fear to expand our vessel and to receive more. So adaptation to scarcity is another shadow. And with scarcity, I'm not referring only to material resources. I am not also referring to have in excess, because we could have a lot, and even though we could perceive through the filter of scarcity and not feeling inner plenitude. I am talking about knowing inside that there are greater possibilities and not wanting to move forward or choosing what is aligning with those possibilities, for fear to lose what in the present is not even what is nourishing our soul. And when we talk about the North Node, we are referring to a new direction. For some people, this could imply leaving something behind that doesn't belong to the evolutionary path of oneself. But for others, it is more like not being stagnated in a pattern or not rejecting what is being shown in the experience, whether because this generates an uncertainty or because we are not trusting in our own intuition. We want like concrete proofs, or there are many negative perceptions towards the future. So North Node in Pisces, it is ruled by Neptune, that at this moment is together with Saturn in Aries. my English starts to crumble. So there are people that could feel lack of clarity. Could be that some processes are becoming slower, or that present certain obstacles because Jupiter is already activating the square with both of them. But if that happens, I mean obstacles, or feeling something is slower in our experience, it is to question ourselves if we are really acting from this automatic pilot, or because we are truly listening to ourselves. If there is something to adjust, to modify. For other people, and there could they could be very connected with other planes, the potentials that could be manifested in their realities, but without concrete action, there is no materialization. Everything in Aries is about initiating and taking action. Conscious action, of course. And it is the same if we are moving forward and then we discover that we have to redirect energy, that we have to change something, that we have to learn something. The thing is movement, conscious movement right here, right now, because if that energy doesn't circulate, emerges the irritability, the anger, and that is going to be projected in others, or is going to be manifested in the environment. We are not responsible for how other people are acting, but what surrounds us gives us information when that is affecting us in a certain level. So lack of clarity when we talk about Neptune could be linked with this seeking of explanations, rational explanations that are also coming from an old logic. The South Node in Virgo also operates this way. For example, if there is a person that has very rooted in situations that didn't work in his or her past, to look for a practical solution, being the one that is serviceable, being the one that gives too much energy. So could be that life is proposing to that person letting go of, not doing that thing that the person used to do, that certainly served for, going through the path, or even for survival. But life, when we have contacts with the karma nodes, moves us to do things out of the known pattern. And things aren't going to move forward if we don't approach those things in a different way. And perhaps we can apply the things that we have learned before in other projects, or approach that in a different way, because the things that I've just mentioned, being serviceable, being constant, looking for practical solutions, that it is not incorrect at all. But well, depending on the excessive energy, could be something that is not that correct, depending on circumstances. But those acts could turn into something that is wrong, because uh, when we are investing them in something that is not aligned to our soul or to what our life requires. And there are many people that they know how to be at service and looking for solutions when this is about other ones. But they are not doing that for themselves or their own personal projects. And there are other people that are the contrary, and generally these people are going to attract each other. It is very common. And so, other example with Mercury and Gemini in square with the Karmanus is, for example, if there is procrastination regarding an idea, because every time that you try to initiate something, emerge those kind of patterns of linked with perfectionism. Something is lacking, or whatever thing it is, the perspective. Well, that is a way of the mind to protect ourselves of possible failures, but in the end, it is causing a sabotage of our growth. So this is a moment to transcend that one step at a time, because patterns never disappear from day to night, but it is the practice that allows us to change them. That is the good Virgo. And because with the other transits of this week, all the sextiles, it is very possible that doing that effort, of beating that inner inertia, that could lead to manifestations like external confirmations or opportunities, but at least feeling better with oneself, it is very valuable. It is everything, in fact, to move forward in the experience. So thank you, everyone. See you in the next video. Ciao, ciao.